I'm saying that I want every rapist and pedophile behind bars and publicly executed. I'm saying I want every terrorist dead. And I'm saying also that every Muslim should start respecting Christian nations and maybe hopefully go back to their 56 Muslim nations, Piers Morgan.
Your reaction when the British Home Secretary, Shabana Mahmood, banned you from coming in for this rally because of the incendiary, bigoted comments that you've been on the record as saying, was you called her a dirty Pakistani Muslim and said, I'm coming to England on a boat. Obviously, that is grotesquely offensive, racist, bigoted, and vile. But also, there's a point I'd like to make to you is that Shabana Mahmood was born in Birmingham in England. She's as English as I am. You, however, were born in Colombia. You weren't born in the United States. So I would argue that Shabana Mahmood has much more validity to be considered English than you do to be an American.
Piers Morgan, she's from Pakistan. You're an actual British. And let's talk about Pakistan.
She was born in Birmingham, in the middle of England.
Her parents are from Pakistan. Let's not.
Yeah, she was born in Birmingham, in England. She was born in England.
And she's from
English
Pakistan.
Citizen.
Her parents are from Pakistan. And Piers Morgan, Pakistan is not known for being the cleanest place on earth. It's actually a dirty shithole full of terrorists. I've never heard anybody say that they want to go to Pakistan for vacation.
Okay, let me bring in our other guest because you're obviously intent on being as disgusting as possible, which is your modus operandi. It's why nobody voted for you, by the way. But it doesn't really interest me what happens with your political
Thousands of people voted for me, Piers.
Sammy, were you lost by one of the biggest thrashings in American political history? So the voters voted with their own votes.
The absolute audacity of Valentina Gomez, a Colombian immigrant, going on an international stage like Piers Morgan Uncensored to spew Islamophobia in broken English, struggling to form English sentences while spewing slurs at an English-born Muslim citizen. Because Valentina Gomez wasn't even born in the United States. She is an immigrant who has made a career out of hating immigrants, desperately tap dancing for a white supremacist audience that will never, ever accept her as one of their own. And she's doing it in severely broken English. I want to be very clear about why I'm pointing out her broken English. I'm not English shaming her. I'm just simply pointing out the irony. The same white supremacists that she is pandering to use that broken English to profile and criminalize people like her. To the far right, her broken English is the sound of the invader at the southern border. Yet here she is using the same broken English MAGA criminalizes to parrot their racist talking points. She is desperately trying to speak the language of the empire to prove that she is one of the good ones, while the people she is talking to are already looking for her deportation papers. It's a pathetic level of overcompensation. She is begging for a seat at a table where her broken English is used as evidence against her.
October the 7th. So everybody knew about all the civilian casualties. We knew that 1,200 people had been murdered. We knew this. How many Muslims do you think there are in the world?
Way too many, Piers. I prefer one dog over 100 million Muslims. They like to rape goats. They like to rape little girls.
We're sharing some new details out of Gateway Church in South Lake as church leaders there say they have removed several elders after an investigation into claims of sexual abuse.
Catholic leaders in Texas released the names of almost 300 priests accused of sexual abuse, and they issued a new apology to victims.
Priests molesting children in the Christian Catholic Church has been an epidemic for centuries. Yet Valentina never mentions that because she doesn't really care about children or victims of abuse. She just likes parroting racist talking points because she thinks the white supremacists might finally accept her.
How many girls have been raped by the Muslim rape gangs? Just like Mohammed raped 6-year-old Aisha.
How many little girls did he rape? You never ask that same question about Trump while you're running around wearing his red hat. She doesn't care at all about girls being raped. Raping girls is okay with her as long as the pedophile is a white man. Then she'll do everything she possibly can to protect that white child predator from accountability by putting him into the highest office of power. She worships a white alleged pedophile who has allegations of raping a 13-year-old girl, who admitted he was best friends with the world's most prolific child trafficker, a man whose name appears in the Epstein files more than Jesus' name appears in the Bible. Valentina Gomez only pretends to care about little girls being abused by men when it gives her the opportunity to spew hate against brown and black people, because we can clearly see that she is very eager to help white men abuse little girls. I wanted to talk about the caste system again because Valentina Gomez is an excellent example of how it's still destroying us today. She is the grotesque masterpiece of the Spanish caste system. She is the result of 500 years of psychological brainwashing that worked so well that the self-hate has become so automatic that her master can just sit back and watch her do their dirty work, attacking herself, her own community, and other brown and black communities, enforcing the caste system that was created to only benefit white supremacy. She is the colonizer's dream, a person so broken by the caste system that she is too brainwashed to realize that she's been programmed to destroy herself. I recently made a video that investigates the 500-year history of self-hate and internalized racism in the Latino community. I will put a link up here and I encourage you to watch it. Let me briefly explain what the caste system was, because understanding it is the only way to understand Valentina Gomez. Around 500 years ago, after Spain colonized the Americas, specifically Mexico and Latin America, they created a legal system that assigned levels of humanity based on skin color and phenotype. European Spaniards sat at the top, Indigenous and Black people were forced to the bottom. Everyone else existed in carefully calculated categories in between. It was a ladder where the higher you climbed toward whiteness, the more rights you were granted. What made this system truly evil was the psychological warfare. Spain forced their colonized victims to become the enforcers of their own oppression. They brainwashed entire generations into believing that the only way to survive was by violently competing with other brown and black people for scraps of acceptance from the same people who were systemically erasing them. They taught our ancestors to hate their own reflections, to despise darker skin, to revile those who were too indigenous, to see their own families as threats. It was calculated, it was cruel, and it worked so well that 500 years later, we're still doing it to ourselves. Here's where it gets even more disturbing and shocking. This isn't just psychological, it's biological. There is a field of science called epigenetics, which proves that extreme trauma sustained over centuries doesn't just fade away. It leaves biological markers on our DNA. The trauma of colonization, the centuries of constant brainwashing that we are inferior, that we must compete with our own community to survive. This doesn't just affect the mind, it becomes embedded into our genetic code and passed down to our descendants through generations. What that means is we are literally born with our own biology telling us that we are less than. We are born with centuries of ancestral survival instinct signaling us to seek acceptance from the very people who are systemically oppressing us. We inherit the psychological trauma of our ancestors' desperation without even knowing why we feel it. This is called intergenerational trauma. It is documented, it is real, and it is still active in our bodies today. Valentina Gomez is painfully aware that to Trump and the Epstein-Class, she is nothing more than an invader from those caravans at our southern border. Valentina is a naturalized citizen, but even as Trump threatens to deport naturalized citizens and demands English-only purity,
this is a country where we speak English, not Spanish.
she sits there spewing white supremacist talking points in her severely broken English, overcompensating with every single breath in a pathetic attempt to stand out as one of the good ones, separating herself from her own identity and her own community. Very much like a stray dog begging to sleep on the porch of a master who hates it. It is the ultimate humiliating betrayal of self, to the point where she is desperately and shamelessly groveling for acceptance from a 34-time convicted felon, a scammer of children's charities, a scammer of university kids, a failed business owner of 6 bankruptcies, a man who hates women, especially black and brown women like Valentina, who speak Spanish. Yet she still performs for head pats from the lowest form of human waste in existence, only to be rejected by him too. She's been publicly degrading herself for years, only to be repeatedly and publicly rejected by Donald Trump, who endorsed her opponent in the 2026 Texas primary, rejected bigly by red voters in the 2026 Texas primary. The Williamson County Republican Party even banned her from their events. And before any of this, she was also rejected by voters in the 2024 Missouri primary. This is some of the hardest tap dancing, river dancing that I have ever seen, and still not even the scum of the earth will pick her. As discussed in the interview, even the UK, the main headquarters of colonization, banned her and rejected her. This is what the caste system was designed to do: turn victims into enforcers, turn a person's own self-hate into a weapon against everyone around them, make them so desperate for scraps of belonging that they'll betray everything, their identity, their community, their dignity, in hopes of being one of the good ones.
I'm a Republican and I don't like guys. I love them. And if you're an ICE agent here in Texas, I have some white monsters ready for you boys, because I want you caffeinated and motivated so you can deport every scammy Somalian, every terrorist Muslim, and every Haitian that is eating our dogs and cats. I stand with my ICE agents. And when you boys see this, let me join a raid so I can put the handcuffs on an illegal.
Valentina Gomez is living proof that this system still works, that centuries of colonization still shape who we are, what we believe about ourselves, and who we're willing to harm to feel less broken. Now, I'm not sure if she will ever realize what should be obvious, but self-hating Latinas like Valentina Gomez never seem to learn you cannot buy your way into whiteness. She sold her soul and her integrity trying to prove that she was one of the good ones. But there is no good version of a traitor. She gave everything to only receive rejection. She is doing white supremacy's dirty work for free and has been cast aside like trash. Because the only thing a system like this offers a sellout is total humiliating nothingness. This is not a failure of her strategy. This is the strategy. The caste system working exactly as intended. But the 500 years of self-hate so deeply embedded into her DNA didn't let her see it though. That is today's video. Let me know what you think in the comments, and don't forget to share, like, and subscribe if you would like to see more videos like this.
You ain't demure, honey. You're diabolical. You ain't demure, you're them hands, baby. You ain't cutesy, you're petty. And that's all right, baby. That's okay. You loud. That's wonderful. I love it.